Hello everyone and welcome to one more brand new Love Talk.
Hi everybody, I hope you are sitting comfortably, maybe having some tea or coffee while watching this program, because today's topic, as usual, is going to change your life or could change your life if you apply it.
But instead of us explaining about the topic right now, have a look at this video first and we'll see if you can guess what the topic is. Well, you can see one of the most dangerous things you can do when you're crossing the road, it's to not be sure where you're gonna go. Do you stay, do you go? And while you're making your decision, a car could be about to hit you. So we can say that indecisiveness, not being sure what you want, going backwards and forwards, it's a terrible thing to do. Today the program will be talking about indecisiveness in relationships.
And that kind of indecisiveness is as dangerous as what we just saw in the video. You know, you might not get killed straight away, but it kills you softly, like the song says, and it leaves marks. So,
and you know, usually we start with the couples, talking about the couples. Today we're going to do differently. We're going to talk about you who are single, first of all. And I want to talk about something we see happening a lot in the years we've been dealing with people who come to us to pray and to help them with their love lives. One of the things we see the most is people who come, they understand about their value as men or women, and they see that the person they are dating is not good for them, is a bad influence, whether because they are serial cheaters, whether because they are liars, whether because they are lazy, they don't want to work, they have no plans for the future, whether because they are violent, all kinds of reasons. And then when you discover your value coming to the Succeeding Life Center, the Universal Church, you say, no, I deserve better than that. I don't want that for my life. And people call off the relationship. Now, I don't want this relationship because this guy is bad news for me. This woman is bad news for me. But then later, after a few months, if no one else comes around, if they feel a little bit lonely, they change their mind and they go back. And they're going back to the same pit of problems that they had before.
and what does that tell you? What does that say about you, actually? It makes you look like someone who doesn't know what you want out of life. And you ended up messing up your life more than what it used to be before. And you see indecisiveness, the person who is in between, oh yes or maybe. No, this kind of person is a maybe. She's never a yes or a no. So you are very easily led by emotions, by what people say to you, and then you start dating this person, and then you start dating another person, and then you get into another relationship and you already change your status on Facebook, but then you remove it and then you put it back on. It's a mess.
And the problem is that nobody takes a person like this serious. You can't take a person who changes their mind like the weather seriously. And by the way, remember that Jesus said, let your word be either yes or no. Anything that goes beyond that, it's evil. When you make a decision, you need to stick to your guns. If you made that decision based on an intelligent reason, you saw that the person was bad for you, so you broke up that relationship. So the person is still bad 6 months later. 1 year later, they're the same person, unless they've had an experience with God and they changed their life, they're still the same person. So if you're going to go back, you're going to go back to the same problem you had before. Another problem, sometimes the person is single, but they make the mistakes of moving too quickly into a relationship. Sometimes they say, oh, every girlfriend I found on the internet, the relationship never worked. Or any boyfriend I found on the internet, the relationship never worked. So I'm never going to go to the internet looking for a partner anymore. But again, a few months later, because things didn't change the way they want, there they are again in the internet, where they can't really get to know who that person is, getting involved with people.
You know, and I know you know this, so don't lie to yourself, okay? Listen to this. When you are chatting with someone online, that person can be anything, anyone.
A man can be a woman. A woman can be a man.
It's like theater, performance. How many times I go on Facebook just to check, you know, how is my family, you know, very casually, very quickly. And I see so many people I actually know posing on Facebook. And, you know, all the friends I have that I don't even know them, people who ask to be added, you know, posing on Facebook, doing all sorts of theatrical performances. That's how I like to call it. And this is not the person. So you can be whatever you want to be when you are on social media, but you don't really get to know the real person behind the camera.
And the problem is, think with me, if it's already difficult to get to know someone really in person, imagine over the internet. So if you're single and you've had experiences before, you've maybe had problems before that you can't do anything about because they're in your past, but you can learn from that. If you said that you're never going to go back to an abusive relationship, if you said you're never going to go back to a person, how many people say, oh, I will never date a guy who's unemployed anymore? Bishop, come on, but not to date someone unemployed. I'm judging him, poor thing. No, poor thing, nothing. A man has to be the leader. A man has to be the provider. Of course, nowadays we know that men and women work, but if you're a woman, you're going to date a guy who's been unemployed. The guy's healthy. He's healthy, he's young, and the guy's been unemployed for years. Bishop, but sometimes in the country things are so difficult. Listen, when the guy wants to succeed in life, if he's healthy, he wants to succeed in life, there's no way he will allow himself to be unemployed for that long. And if he is unemployed for that long, he's going to start a business, he's going to do something. But you're going to marry someone who's unemployed, you're setting yourself for failure to be the provider for that person, and you're going to regret that.
This thing of, oh, poor thing, he's unemployed. Tell him, go to the shop, buy 5 pens and sell them for a little bit more money, and then go and do that again and again. Go to a school, sell pens, sell cakes. Sorry, for me that is not an excuse.
So that's the advice for you singles. I'm sorry we were too direct, but that's the truth. We're going to listen to a song now, a beautiful song. When we come back, we have some questions here that people sent us on Love Talk, and we're going to answer them. We have 2 questions, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this song, and also to give the advice to the married ones.
Does not finish in my mind. I can just try to imagine how you are. All the stars in the sky, all the mountains and seas will never express how you are. My Lord, you know the reason why I came to you. My heart has no strength because arms are so big, I need your power. My God, the only thing I seek is your love. Hold up my hands, let's go. All things I can do with you. Come and touch me, oh Lord. Reveal yourself to me. I cannot live without your great love. Come and touch me, oh Lord. Reveal yourself to me. I cannot live without your great love. My God, the only thing I seek is your love. Hold up my hands, let's go. All things I can do with you. Come and touch me, oh Lord. Reveal yourself to me. I cannot live without your great love. Come and touch me, oh Lord. Reveal yourself to me. I cannot live without your great love. I cannot live without your great love.
Well, welcome back. Here we have the questions that were sent to us on Love Talk. I'm going to read one, Elena's going to read another and answer them, of course. The first one comes from Florida, USA. Hello, Florida. So the person says, I'm not going to say the name, but he says, I want a relationship with, and then he put the name of the person here. I want a good relationship with her because we were together before, but she was so jealous. I still like her, and we both live in the same building. Okay, so you had a relationship with her before, you broke up because she was very jealous, but you still like her. Okay, I think your question has already been answered by what we said earlier, right? Because when a relationship breaks down, and there's a good reason for it to break down, like jealousy, for example, if you want to go back and the person is still the same person, they haven't really had an experience with God, God hasn't changed them, then you're going to go back to the same problem. So if the jealousy was unfounded, she had no reason to be jealous of you, and yet she, was, I wouldn't say tormenting you, but making the relationship negative because of that, then you're going to go back to the same problem. My advice is ask God to prepare a new person for you. Move forward. Surely God has someone for you. Only you know if this person has changed or not, but unless God changes the person, I don't think you should go back to the same problem again. Actually, like I said, we've already answered this in the beginning of the program.
Okay. So, my turn now. And this is the question I received. I have been married for, I'm married. I think this is a lady. And I haven't spoken to my husband for 3 years. But I'm planning to go over to his place when I go home for a holiday. Is it all right for me to do that? It's very strange that you haven't spoken for 3 years, so I'm assuming that maybe you are separated. If you are separated and you want to talk to him, yes, there's no problem in you going back, if you are still married, of course, and talk to him, because if you're not married, maybe he moved on and he has another family. So, yeah, it is okay. Go and be honest and have a good conversation and tell each other the truth, and let's see.
And try to resolve the problem, see if there's a hope to resolve the problem, right? And the next thing we're going to talk about, still on the same topic, is the advice for you who are married, for you who are in a relationship. And I think there's many people who think, well, surely indecisiveness is only for singles because I've already decided to get married, so surely this doesn't apply to me. But actually, this applies to you every day. Because how many times couples say, the husband says, oh, love, I won't hurt you anymore. I won't be offensive to you anymore. I will never cheat on you anymore. But that happens. It happens again. How many wives have chosen to forgive the husband's betrayals? Twice, 3 times, 5 times. And every time she says, I will not forgive again. But he keeps going and he does whatever he wants, or she does whatever she wants. Okay, you want to forgive once because you saw it was a moment of weakness, perhaps, but the person keeps repeating the same problem and you keep forgiving, and you say, oh, next time I will not forgive you, but then you do it again. I mean, come on, the guy's he's gonna think, no, if I betray her, she'll just say the same thing and she'll forgive me, so I might as well do it. So there is no decisiveness in that decision.
It's a tremendous lack of respect.
And self-respect.
Yes, on both sides. He's disrespecting you in your face, and you are just agreeing with it. So he will change or she will change when he sees or she sees in you a person of decision. You know what? Oh, you did that? No problem. See you later. Because I don't want to live like this anymore. You don't have to shout. You don't have to make a scene. Go on Facebook and write messages. Indirect messages. No, just tell him in his face, my dear, nice meeting you, but this is over. I'm not going to live like this anymore. And you know what? There is another situation I could think of when I was listening to your points, is the person who is in a marriage and she got married not in the right way. She didn't really know the person. She rushed into things. And she thought at the back of her mind, I'm going to change this guy. Or I'll change this woman when we get married. I'm sure she can change or he can change. But people don't change like this. They only change if they want to change. So don't wait, because this is what many people do in marriages or in relationships. No, let's give it time and see what happens, and let's give it a time. No, time will not change things. If anything, things will get worse with time because you haven't done anything about it.
And a final point, there's the little things that happen every day that you have to choose to forgive. They're not major things. She didn't cheat on you. He didn't cheat on you. There was no violence. But perhaps there was a word said that was out of place. Or the person was a little lazy with things around the house. Whatever the case may be. If you chose to forgive, then don't bring that up again. don't speak about that again, because that's also indecisiveness. You go back on your word, you say that you forgive, but at the first opportunity you have, you throw that in the person's face. That's not forgiveness. So when we decide to do something, whether it is to be with someone, to forgive someone, or sometimes to let go of someone because the person is a bad influence for us, stick to what you decided. Never forget what the Lord Jesus said. Let your word be yes or no. But also remember, whatever the case in your relationship that you might be living through right now, it is possible to change. That's what God did with this person, and He can do it in your life as well. Let's watch a testimony now. We'll come back to finish the program.
My journey started in my parents' house. I used to see my parents having constant arguments, daily arguments. My mom would always complain about my dad, addictions, affairs, his lack of love and care for the family. I was very young when I met this boy, he was a bit older than me. He was involved with gangs, and this took me to be involved with gangs as well. Drug addicts, toxic dependents, people involved with prostitution. My involvement was so much that I got myself addicted with cigarettes and alcohol. This relationship became abusive. He was aggressive due to the drugs and alcohol and all of his involvements on this. He became very aggressive towards me and the children. After a few years of fight, of hard work to change this relationship, it didn't work. I had to finish with it. We'd end up separating. A couple of years after, I've met Ricardo with the hope that I will be happy now. Unfortunately, sometime after, I found out that he was involved with drugs. He was a humanizer and he loved night clubbing and nights out. When we came to the church, we received advice, help to transform, to change our relationship. I was encouraged to fight for it. That's when I realized as well that I had to change myself, the attitude, the luggage that I was carrying from my past, the low self-esteem that I had within me. I had to remove it and trust and believe again that it was possible to be happy. And this was what helped me to actually accept the transformation, accept the fight. Today we have a wonderful relationship. We are married and very happy. We work together, we make decisions together. We are a team.
I cannot expect more. Keep dreaming to get better and better with the years come in the presence of God.
So you saw someone there who decided to change.
Decision.
She made a decision, she stuck to it. If you do that, stick to your guns, don't look back, go forward, believe God is with you. He will help you to move forward, to make the right decisions. And don't change your mind. That's very important. If you keep changing your mind, not only people will not respect you, but you stop respecting yourself. You stop believing your own word when you make a decision.
And this is when people lose their confidence, and they say, you know what, I will never go for a new course because I know I'll never finish it. You know, why am I going to start dating? I know I will not find anyone. So it's inside the person. As you can see, a person who is indecisive, the problem is inside of her, not in people around her. People have bad characters, mistakes, so it's up to you to be decisive, to make the right choices. That's all. The power is in your hands, like they say.
That's right. We hope that this program has been helpful. I'm sure it has. We'll see you next week again. And enjoy now the program Miracles Can Happen. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
There are problems we can deal with by ourselves. Others are a little tougher, but we get there eventually. But sometimes, only divine help can open doors. God said, "Call upon me in the day of your trouble, and I will deliver you. He wants and is ready to set you free. Join us on the Sunday of Divine Help. Bring your troubles, and He will give you rest.